RDTDaily.com presents a Tarabuster with comedian Tara Devlin.
All right. What's up, everybody? Sorry for being late. Thank you for your indulgence. How's it sounding? How's it looking? Thank you. This is Tara Devlin, Unapologetic Liberal Talk. Nice to see you. I see the chat room filling up over at youtube.com/see-for-channel/Tarabuster. If you want to hang out, Boudica's going nuts. Booty, be good. Like she listens. Come on over. Come on over and hang out with us. Should have done something with those cats before the show. It doesn't matter. Okay. Put them away. I can't help it. You know, they're hanging out. They're good. I think it's like as soon as they hear the theme, they go nuts. All right. Listen. Thank you, Jim. It sounds good. It looks good. Thank you, guys. Thank you for your patronage at patreon.com/Tara Devlin. And I want to thank Charlie for his support, his very dedicated support. Putting me on APS Radio News is awesome. I really can't say, enough. I'm really proud to be part of the APS Radio News roster. So thank you, Charlie, and thank you for your other donations to the community cats. It matters, and that's why we keep doing it. All right. Thank you, Charlie. I'll thank you some more as we go down the road here. I'm just trying to get my sea legs again. It's been a week since we had a show because I meant to have a show. I don't want to give any excuses, no excuses, but it is what it is. I just can't do it because of my schedule. So if you want, maybe one day we'll have a daily show at a set time. Otherwise, we have to go with the flow, frankly. And maybe one day, I don't know, maybe when I retire, if I ever, I'm never going to retire. I don't have enough money to retire. You know what I mean? I'm an American. What's retire? Oh, in fact, actually, now that I'm saying this, oh my God. I just thought of that. One of these Republicans. Who was the one that was saying, it was the guy, the guy with the eyebrows. Oh, he's horrible. Ben Shapiro talking about how retirement shouldn't be a thing. Why? I didn't mean to bring this up at all, but in fact, this was a couple of weeks ago. I don't know. In case you missed it, let's play it just so you know. I don't know. So you know what I'm talking about and how vile these people are. But we'll get into some more. I mean, it's a never-ending wealth of Republican dirty tricks. We'll never run out, it seems. They really do suck. I mean, to say that they suck is to kind of give them a promotion. They're not. I mean, they're worse. They're worse than suck. They not only are incompetent, they bring nothing to the table, but they bring worse than nothing to the table. Hold on, let me get this clip of this is how horrible they are. In case you missed it, here's Ben Shapiro talking about retirement. Come on, Ecamm, help me out. Oh my God! Thank you, Jeffrey Giraffe, for your super chat. In the super chat, very generous super chat, Jeffrey. Thank you so much. Thank you for your generous support because that helps keep the lights on in Tarabuster Studios. And maybe one day I can retire. Keep it coming. Keep it coming.
And let's be real about this. It's insane that we haven't raised the retirement age in the United States. It's totally crazy. Joe Biden, if that were the case, Joe Biden should not be running for president. Hey, Joe Biden is 81 years old. The retirement age in the United States at which you start to receive Social Security and you are eligible for Medicare is 65. Joe Biden has technically been eligible for Social Security and Medicare for 16 years, and he wants to continue in office until he is 86, which is 19 years past when he would be eligible for retirement. No one in the United States should be retiring at 65 years old. Frankly, I think retirement itself is a stupid idea unless you have some sort of health problem. Everybody that I know who is elderly, who has retired, is dead within 5 years. And if you talk to people who are elderly and they lose their purpose in life by losing their job and they stop working, things go to hell in a handbasket real quick. But put all of that aside, just on a fiscal level and on a logical level.
They know a lot about
when
fiscal.
Franklin Delano
these
Roosevelt established
Republicans.
65 as the retirement age, the average life expectancy in the United States was 63 years old.
That is actually right. He's correct there. But that doesn't mean that we don't make improvements on life. You see, Republicans want us to, they think we have it too good in general. The meaning of life for them is for us to toil. It's like Ayn Rand. You know, there are some people are, what's his name? Rush Limbaugh said some people are just born to be slaves. And as Ayn Rand said, that others are, how did she put it? They are fuel to be used by others who deserve it or something like that. I mean, this is who they are. If you're not rich, if you didn't come up with some scam, some multi-level marketing vitamin scam or some stupid plastic, gold, tacky plastic gold encased crappy shoes, made in China shoes, if you didn't get some Chinese patents from your daddy's hero, an authoritarian dictator, if you didn't get $2 billion from an authoritarian dictator for God knows what, then you're nothing. You should just die. And, if you get old and you can't work, die. Go die. It's like the Republican health care plan. Don't get sick, and if you do, die quickly. And the Republican retirement plan is die. Don't, you'll get a lot of rest when you're dead. And when you're dead, you'll be in a mansion, and everybody will be happy in the mansion. But here on Earth, the Republicans got the earthly rewards all cornered. For people who don't really care about others, right? It's like they're so easy to dictate what everybody else should be doing with their lives, right? They rig the game in their favor and make sure that they have a firm boot on everyone's neck. And the fact is, it's the oldest tricks in the book, of course, the way they divide the American people. They divide us up along racial lines to keep the working class, at each other's throats. So we don't ever stop for a minute and say, you know what, this whole system is rigged. It's rigged for the people at the top who can exploit us. I mean, it's been going on forever and ever. This is why I can't stand the Republicans, the average Joe Republicans they just can't, they don't seem to be able to figure it out. For some people who are so attuned to the conspiracy theory du jour, they simply can't see the oldest conspiracy that is unfolding right in front of them. Because the fact is, when we'll go over it again, because I have another clip of a true maggot. These people they're beyond redemption. It's pretty sad, but it's also a reason why, it's kind of an example why we shouldn't, I'm so sick of checking in on them. How you feeling? How you doing? Who you gonna vote? Like, these people they're a lost cause. Let them go and lick their con man's ass, figuratively and literally, and the rest of us will get about the business of having a functioning society that works for all. And, to listen to Ben Shapiro talk about what everybody else, when people should retire, when people should, what kind of a fulfilling life they should have. And, it's good if you like what you're doing. If you're a lawyer, like, for example, if you're, Uncle Clarence Thomas being held as a billionaire's pet. If some billionaire adopts you as a pet because you're on the Supreme Court, you might want to sit around. You might want to go to work every day. If you're feeling good, you got to sit on your ass. You're not out there laying brick or whatever, you're not beating your body up every single day. And the other countries have figured out, not every country, but definitely not this country, but other countries have figured out that there's more to life than just being some kind of host for the rich to suck profit and discard, right? That we don't just live so others can, exploit us. But according to Republicans, that's, some people are just born to be slaves. That's Rush Limbaugh. That's a quote, a famous quote. Sometimes they let the truth slip, but that really is the Republican agenda wrapped up in one sentence. Hold on, we'll be right back. Well, let me play this.
Today, the average life expectancy in the United States is close to 80.
Who cares?
It's totally insane.
What does
that
it
you believe
matter?
that you should be
the mark of a civilization, the selling points, the bragging points, the shining city on a hill should be that we have a decent middle class life. Like, that's the American birthright. And look at this country. We're working. It's functioning so well that we have so much abundance here that we can take a day off. We have the freedom to be human. We have the freedom to get sick, to get old, to take a vacation, to sit around maybe one day, taking a freaking emotional health day. Without worrying about whether you're gonna lose your job, lose your livelihood. The fact is, we live in a country where you miss one paycheck because we know this when Republicans shut down the government, which they are constantly trying to do. It's getting ridiculous. It's getting to the point where the corporate media now has the government shutdown clock in the middle of in the corner of the screen, the countdown clock, as they do, we used to count down to Christmas or count down to when the polls close on election day, right? Now they have the countdown clock to the next Republican government shutdown, because that's all that Republicans do. But when you shut down the government, you're shutting down people's paychecks. And as we know, every time Republicans shut down the government, then the corporate media gives us the stories of the families that have to go to the food banks to make ends meet, or they have to worry about, I don't know if I can pay my rent or feed my family, or, if you can't miss one paycheck without going to a food bank, you're not middle class. I'm sorry. But, the whole thing is a scam. This is the conspiracy, Republicans. If you are a Republican and you have stumbled onto this show, stick around. Maybe you'll learn something, though I do suspect you have other plans. But, if you're really keen on conspiracies, we got some conspiracies here. And they are right in front of our faces. You don't have to think about Q. You don't have to decipher some kind of code and read between the lines. The calm before the storm. It's happening right now. The rich get richer. The working class become the more malleable working poor. That's the conspiracy. While they whittle away at pesky democracy until there is no democracy, and they have your dear leader in the catbird seat of power. Don't worry, they'll still call him president like they call Putin president and Xi president, but they're not presidents, they're effective kings. That's what they're trying to do to this country. But anyway, I just hate the Republican. They're constantly people like Ben Shapiro. Who listens to Ben Shapiro? Right? And I have to tell you, if you Google whatever political podcast, he's going to come up. Ben Shapiro, Charlie Kirk, like all these filthy racists who are spewing hate, garbage, division, kiss up, kick down, oligarchy. It's not patriotism. They're wrapping, I don't know what, their disturbed point of view into this patriotic veneer, which is, there's nothing patriotic about it. There's nothing patriotic about turning thinking that your fellow Americans, don't deserve a decent life. But this is the problem with Republicans, because they hate this country. They hate their fellow Americans. You can't call yourself a patriot when you hate basically just about everybody in the country. So,
to work from the time that you are essentially 20 to the time that you are 65, which is a 45-year period.
Who is this person?
Pay in, and then you will receive Social Security benefits sufficient to support you and your family, you and your wife or whatever, for like another 20 years.
It doesn't support people anyway. It's quite underwhelming, Social Security, and thank God we have it, because most people don't even have retirement, thanks to the kiss up, kick down Republican policies, how they took pensions and turned it into 401ks, with another failed Republican plan to make people interested in the market. You see, there used to be 65% of retired Americans had pensions. You got a guaranteed pension. You got a guaranteed check until you died. Then you had your Social Security. So you had a decent life. You had a decent retirement. And then you croaked. All right? You got to enjoy your life a little bit before you croak. But Republicans, they, in their slick willy wisdom, they funneled people into these 401k scams, which is, because all we keep hearing with Republicans, they talk about Social Security. They're like, oh, I could do better in the market. Like, give me my Social Security. It's my money. It's mine. Me. Because it's all about them. The center of the universe is a very crowded place filled with Republicans. But they're like, me. Because besides being, the way that we have to be, besides being what we are, right? Besides being whatever thing you do for a living, you have to also be a financial wizard. Right, to take your money and put it into the market. And then you better hope that it's not in some kind of downturn. You better hope that you didn't get scammed or bamboozled by some, greed-centered ghoul that are all around. Watch that damn show. What's it called? American Greed. Well, you'll hear tales, there people, getting their life savings stolen by these supposed fiduciaries that robbed them. Oh, I knew them for years. They were the best man at my wedding. All this other shit. It doesn't matter. You're talking about greed. Some people are just disgusting, greedy ghouls. Look at Trump. That's why, I didn't even plan on going down this road, but because we brought it up with this guy, I remembered I had this clip.
Crazy talk. That is not fiscally sustainable.
It's just the fuck. What
the notion that
it's not
you have to raise the retirement age.
Sustainable. What's not fiscally sustainable is the fact that the rich pay an effective 8% tax rate. This is what they're crying about. That capital gains tax. So if you sit around waiting for a dividend check, you pay 8% on that dividend. But if you are a worker, you pay over 35%, 35%, right? I'm not a, tax wizard, but that's basically the numbers. And they're crying. I heard on MSNBC what's his name? Oh shit. He's a governor. He's a Republican. Hold on a second. Be right back. How did that happen so quickly there? I can't remember the guy's name. He's a governor. They always have him on MSNBC. And he's supposed to be some rational Republican. And he was crying about how Joe Biden is threatening. It's not even real. It's not happened yet. But he's talking about raising capital gains tax. And like whoopee fucking doopy. That every time, this is what I would like to at least try for Democrats, normal people, when they're talking to Republicans. It's like all of their fear, all of the warning, the predictions never come to fruition. They're like, if, God forbid, if the capital gains tax, if capital gains are taxed at the same rate as income, somehow that's supposed to it's gonna be roaches and nothing left but smoldering ruins and roaches after the end of the civilization, I suppose, because this is the way it's gonna stifle everything, stifle innovation, we keep hearing, and which is all bullshit. For years, how long have they relied on the same old bullshit? Anytime you try to make the country work for more than just the 1%, or write some kind of, or the tax code or legislation, regulations to make that makes, the working class more than the working poor. The predictions are dire. Oh, the whole world's going to suck if working people ever get a fair shake, because apparently I guess it's that Ayn Rand bullshit, right? Atlas Shrugged. I wish they would shrug, because I guess that's what they're saying. If you tax the rich, if you tax capital gains at the same rate as income, no one's going to want to do anything. So why don't you, I don't know, why don't you fuck off then? Go to a desert island. Go shrug. They keep saying, they're going to go Galt. Why don't you go Galt already? You know what I mean? Do you think, how horrible would it be without, let's say, what's his name? Elon Musk. For a second, I couldn't think of his name. And it was a blissful second. But, go Galt. Go. Just go. I mean, shrug already. All right, hold on.
Thinks he's not old, and that dude is running for president again, and that dude actually is old, and he's 81.
It's sickening.
I failed to see how a country in which our entire leadership class is 80 plus is telling you that we should have a retirement age of 65. It makes no sense at all.
Makes no sense. Makes no sense at all. Because we should all be nothing but, hosts from which to suck profit and discard. And you have no value. You have no inherent value as a human being. Unless you're some kind of grifter who figured out a way to suck profit from somebody. Because, just because you made a lot of money doesn't mean you're better than others. And this is the thing, for example, with FDR. He had FDR's brain trust around him, a group of advisors that advised him on various topics, including economics. They weren't all rich people. They were academics, philosophers, just people from all walks of life, people who had a brain in their friggin' head. And just because you made money doesn't mean you're smart. It means maybe there's many things it could mean. It could mean you're lucky. It could mean that you, like, for example, Trump, you got a trust fund. By the time you were, of course, Trump's entire origin story is bullshit. He said he got $1 million from his daddy and he paid it back. And what happened? He got $250 million from his daddy and he bankrupted it 5 times over. And Daddy bailed him out when Daddy was alive. But then Daddy died, and he was still sucking on Daddy's fortune like a parasite sucks on a host. So, oh, I know. People in the chat, I'm so. What did you say? Where did I see that? I'm tired of hearing Ben Shapiro, Tara. I'm sorry. You're right. You didn't come to the show to listen to Ben Shapiro, of all people. That's for sure. I didn't either. I didn't even think I was going to play that clip. I had it in my back pocket, and yeah. Hold on 1 second. And I was, it just pissed me off thinking about it, because this is what Republicans have. What do they offer? And that's why I called tonight's show the Republican. What did I call it tonight? Something about chaos. The culture of chaos. And yet again, we have a very another example. What did they do today? What happened today? Perjury Traitor Greene filed a motion to vacate the chair. Apparently it's not real. It's just a shot over the bow. Why? Why did she do that? What? Well, because MAGA Moscow Mike Johnson committed a cardinal sin in the Republican bizarro world. Namely, he kept the government open. He came up with a deal. He came up with a compromise. He compromised. He governed. He did a fucking thing that you're supposed to do when you're a so-called representative. Who votes for these people? Who? What's wrong with them? That's what you're sending? I mean, how much do you hate this country? And this is why it pisses me off. These people call themselves patriots. And it's well past time we strip them of that moniker. They don't earn it. They don't deserve it. They're not patriots. They are, what's the opposite of patriot? I mean, they are the domestic enemies the founders warned us about. What are you doing voting for these people? How much do you hate your country if you send saboteurs into the halls of power to fuck it up from the inside? How much? All that says is you hate America. They're doing Putin's bidding. That's the other thing. I don't know if you saw. This is another reason, I should say, why I'm sorry I wasn't able to do the show this week, because there was so much going on. For example, Les Parnas, is it Les Parnas or Lev? Lev, not Les. I'm thinking he's like a Leslie. Like a Les, like me, a Les, Yeah, I thought it was awesome. He was brought to Congress. Well, it was the Democrats brought him in because he was telling the truth about the Republicans, that their entire impeachment sham is a sham concocted in the bowels of the Kremlin, and the Republicans they're Putin puppets. They're absolute Putin puppets. And he was naming names. Ron Johnson, for one, who curiously, and not so curiously, and not at all coincidentally, says the absolute word for word Russian talking points. He is somebody that spreads Putin's propaganda all over. Whoever will stick a microphone in front of his face, he is the congressman from Moscow, or one of them. There's many of them. Ron Johnson is one of them. They're traitors, guys. They're traitors. And it's pretty concerning because, Trump, the reason he is a traitor. Okay, he's a traitor. He'd sell his own mother, if he could get $20, right? He'd sell his own mother. Well, maybe $10, right? He'd knock his mother down a flight of steps. It's true. It's true. Who can't see that? I mean, there are certain things we can't say, oh, that will never happen. Like, if you imagine, for example, Donald Trump out in the yard with little Eric and little Donald Trump Jr. throwing the ball around in the backyard. Anybody can picture that? No, you can't. But you can picture him groping his own daughter. Not because you could picture it, because he's done it. You've seen it. You've seen the pictures. But who raised their hand if they think he ever gave a shit about any of his children? He took 5 minutes for them. Come on, let's go throw the baseball around in the yard. Please, hold on. So Trump, the reason, this is what happened. Trump is, he sucks at business, right? And we know that. He's a horrible person. Well, that's also just a fact. And two things don't necessarily, I guess they all go together, but there are absolutely no redeeming, qualities to him, as we know. But that's besides the point. He's also he sucks at business, and he destroys everything he touches. And the reason he got involved with Russia to begin with, this is before he became the so-called president, despite receiving fewer votes, but he had to go to Russia because he could not get a legitimate bank loan in the United States because he was not just a traitor, but he sucks. He's a bankrupt, serial bankrupt tax cheat who doesn't pay his bills. So the banks in America put him on an allowance, and he went to Russia, and that's where it all began. That's when he was like, he was tweeting things like, "Can Putin be my best friend?" What a bitch. What a whiny, desperate bitch. Nobody likes a needy bitch, right? I mean, it's just the most unattractive quality, being needy. And that's what he is to Putin. I mean, Putin, of course, plays him like the needy bitch he is. And I mean, Putin's like the Fonz. He'll just snap his fingers, and there comes Trump sidling up to him. Ooh, and then Putin goes walking off into, if you haven't, I mean, it's been a while since I saw that show, Happy Days. But anyway, and so now that Trump owes so much money, he's a traitor. He's in bed with Russia. We know this. As much as he says no collusion, of course there's collusion. We have evidence of it. There are people that went to jail for it. In fact, one of them that went to jail is Paul Manafort, somebody he wants to put back on his campaign because there's no low too low for the traitor. And it doesn't matter. The MAGA cult they have amnesia. And for some, it's very, very disturbing to the rest of us, but it doesn't matter what he does. They will never see the truth about him. But so what's concerning now is that because Trump is a desperate, needy bitch, who's gonna go? I mean, what foreign oligarch or dictator is going to become his like how Harlan Crow keeps Uncle Clarence as a pet? Why wouldn't somebody like Putin, who is one of the richest people on earth, why wouldn't he funnel some money into that parasite's mouth, that gaping black hole of need and greed that is whatever that is called Donald F. and Trump? right? And they asked Alina Habba on the corporate media machine. They asked. I mean, this is, of course, it's, first of all, let me clear this up. Of course, he's going to be a puppet of any oligarch that comes along. Of course, he already is. So this shouldn't be a question. Let's not kid ourselves. And they go through the motions asking these Republicans questions as if it's some kind of, as if they're sincere, as if they are sincere, and capable, whatever, representatives, or they are sincere and capable, period. So they, but someone on the corporate media, I think it was CNN, I have the clip here. Oh, no, it was on Fox, asked Alina Habba, is Trump going to take money from any foreign sources? And whoops, what happened there? It went black.
Is there any effort on the part of your team to secure this money through another country, Saudi Arabia or Russia, as Joy Behar seems to think?
Well, there's rules and regulations that are public. I can't speak about strategy that require certain things, and we have to follow those rules. Like I said, this is manifest injustice. It is impossible. It's an impossibility. I believe they knew that. I think that's why mid-trial, frankly, they changed their ask from $250 million to the ridiculous amount of money that they've asked for. I think everything is done intentionally. I do not doubt that the witch hunt,
like nobody's
that the
ever seen
election interference goal is what was ringing steady and loudly and true throughout all these trials, frankly. And we're seeing it. It's the demise of our country, not the demise of Trump.
Like nobody's ever seen.
We'll handle it as we always have and keep our heads up and keep working hard.
What the fuck was that? What the fuck was that? What the hell did she say? In all those words, I didn't hear one word that we wanted to hear. I didn't hear no. How hard is it to say no? But you can't. I don't know why she didn't feel like lying. Because that's all they do is lie. But what the hell did she even say? I'm going to have to play that again.
Is there any effort on the part of your team to secure this money through another country, Saudi Arabia or Russia, as Joy Behar seems to think?
Well, there's rules and regulations that are public. I can't speak about strategy that require certain things, and we have to follow those rules. Like I said, this is
strategy that requires certain things, and this is manifest
injustice. It is impossible. It's an impossibility. I believe
it's impossible. What the fuck is she saying? Why not say no? No, of course we're not going to take money from overseas. We're not going to open ourselves up to be compromised like Uncle Clarence Thomas is compromised by the billionaire Harlan Crow, who pays all his bills, and the other illegitimate Supreme Court justices like Justice I Like Beer and Gorsuch and The Handmaid. They're all whatever, but
knew that. I think that's why mid-trial, frankly, they changed their ask from $250 million to the ridiculous amount of money.
To the ridiculous? No, I mean, you owe that money. That's what the ask was. The ask was to pay your fucking bills, right? But that's when it's, that's a bridge too far for these Republicans. And I don't know, somebody said, I didn't see it myself, but he was on, the Truth Social, and one of his latest, whatever the hell that, I think it's called dumps on Truth Social. It's just you dump. And he said something, Trump Tower is mine, in all caps. What is this? I mean, is he Gollum? It's mine. Like those ruby slippers.
they've asked for. I think everything is done intentionally. I do not doubt
it's
that
intentional when you go to court and there's a judgment against your being a tax cheating grifter who lied on documents, right? That's it. The lie is right there. The lie is written out. He might as well have written a confession. You can't, there's some things that you just can't lie about. Like, you can't lie about the size of your apartment when you want to get a loan, and then you diminish the size when you need to pay taxes. I mean, that just doesn't happen. We're not living in Narnia. We're not living in some magical dreamland where you can just go, pika, pika, pink, and get whatever the fuck you want. And somehow, by some weirdness, I guess it's just the luck of a Trump, right? Every mistake always favors him somehow. Because that's the other thing he was saying. Oh, it was just a mistake, or it's everybody else's fault.
Witch hunt, that the election interference goal is what was ringing steady and loudly and true throughout all.
Steady, loudly and true. No, honey. We asked you, are you going to be an oligarch's bitch? That's what we asked you. We didn't ask you about any bells ringing steady and true. We didn't ask you about a witch hunt. A lot of witches getting caught in that witch hunt, though. A lot of witches went to jail. Hold on. We'll be right back.
All these trials.
We'll be right back.
Frankly,
like nobody's ever seen. Like nobody's ever seen. All right, I'm sick of looking at her face. And I had a request from Jeffrey, and
strike and strike and strike and strike and strike and strike and strike and strike
strike
and strike until you have victory for every enemy that is alive.
Well, he gave me a very generous super chat, so.
Against you. Let there be that we
Let
would
there
strike
be.
the ground, for you will give
This
us
is
victory.
for anybody who doesn't know. This is Paula White. She is supposedly Donald Trump's spiritual advisor.
God, I hear a sound of abundance
victory.
of rain.
I hear a sound of victory.
I hear a sound of shouting and singing. I hear a sound of victory. I hear a sound of
Now, I don't understand. What's this guy walking
victory.
behind her?
The Lord says it is done. The
Lord said it is done.
The Lord says it is done. For I
Victory,
hear
victory, victory, victory.
victory in the quarters of heaven. In the quarters of heaven. Victory, 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 victory. For angels are being released right now. Angels are being dispatched right now. Hamanda, ata, ata, raka, deda, baka, sanda, ata, anko, osa, tata, rite, eke, banda, ata, rike, didi, ashata. For angels have even been dispatched from Africa right now.
I love how
right
she
now.
says they're being
Africa right
dispatched
now.
from Africa. You know why? Because she's not racist. She's totally not racist. She's seeing the angels, and they're coming from Africa.
Africa right now. They're coming
It
here.
proves
They're coming
she
here.
is totally
In the name of
not
Jesus,
racist.
From South America. They're coming here. They're coming here. They're coming here.
They're coming here, and we're going to build a wall. Aka taka taka pika paka. All right. Thank you for that, Jeffrey. This is fucking where we live, everyone. This is where we live. We live in cuckoo land. Okay, and where, for example, perjury Traitor Greene, who is very upset that MAGA Moscow Mike Johnson did his job. He's not going to send people to the food bank this week. I mean, well, let's not, hey, I'm sorry. Let's reel that in. Of course, Republicans send people to the food bank because of their policies, but he's not going to send government workers. He's going to allow them to continue to get their paychecks. You know, they hate government. Republicans. They hate government. They hate the government that the founders fought a revolution to create and entrust to us. Because they're patriots, right? That patriots hate the things that the founders entrusted to us, right? But Marjorie is very upset, and it's great.
I filed the motion to vacate today, but it's more of a warning and a pink slip. I respect our conference. I paid all my dues to my conference. I'm a member in good standing, and I do not wish to inflict pain on our conference and to throw the house in chaos. But this is
you don't want to throw the house in chaos. Too late. This is the same woman that stands up yelling, "You lie!" It's such an embarrassment to our country.
And it's time for us to go through the process, take our time, and find a new Speaker of the House that will stand with Republicans and our Republican majority instead of standing with the Democrats.
Oh, keep it up. Keep it up, perjury, because we're one vote away. Because another Republican is gone. He's headed for the hills. He's had enough. Because if you are in any way, shape, or form not a moron, if you have just an ounce, an iota of integrity, first of all, you're not a Republican anymore. But if you were holding on, hanging by a thread, hoping against hope that maybe some sense would return to some of them, and these idiots who should be on the fringe, these maggots who have absolutely no business being in the majority. They have no business leading, and just like Trump has no business being the so-called president, despite receiving fewer votes. This is part of the problem. This country is fucked up because we have allowed this minority cult too much power. Everything's rigged up in a way that gives the minority too much power, from the Electoral College to the Senate. For Christ's sakes, the fact that Moscow Mitch, who can shove his filthy gravedigger of American democracy face shove his bullshit in the way of the American people, let's say, by putting these maggots onto the Supreme Court illegitimately. You're talking about Moscow Mitch, he represents the amount of people in Tennessee. There are like 6 million or so people living in Tennessee. That's the same amount of people that live in Brooklyn, Queens, and the Bronx. So he represents the same amount of people that live in half of the boroughs here. Little, 3/4 of the boroughs. And the people of Tennessee, get to dictate the direction of this country and throw everybody into chaos. Like Marjorie Taylor Greene. She represents, how many people? A bunch of morons? I mean, a very handful of not very smart people who actually have no decency. I mean, they have no integrity to send somebody like that to represent them. Because it's like when you give somebody a recommendation for a job, right? You're putting your own reputation on the line. You want that person to be the best, right? To be of a decent caliber, to do a good job. Just like when you send somebody to represent you. Hey, Marjorie, go represent us. What does that say about the people that vote for her? They're not very impressive people, of course. And that's why we got to put up with this clown show, dragging our country down. Now, another thing I wanted to talk about tonight is how, for the first time, the United States is it's not in the top 10 of happiest countries, because we've talked about this before. Now, we're usually around number 15, and how all of the happiest countries on earth, year after year, are the democratic socialist countries that have a social safety net, that have vacation, universal health care. They can go to school. They can go to send their kids to college without coming out as indentured servants to banks. But for the first time, we've slipped below. We're not even in the top 20. And what does that say? It's disgraceful. But that's not good enough for Republicans. They wanted to plummet even further down because everything that they're doing, they are getting in the way of everything that makes a country successful and happy. Everything. But the irony about them, or whatever, it's the hypocrisy really, is that they benefit from all of the policies that liberals made possible. Now, of course, just like Uncle Clarence, want to pull the ladder up behind them.
That's a warning. If it's a warning, if it's a warning, does that mean that you're not going to go through and force this vote?
No, I will. I'm just
There's nothing that can convince you to back off.
There's not a time limit on this. It doesn't have to be forced and throw the House into chaos.
You're in
I
chaos,
don't want
honey.
to put any of our members in a difficult place like we were for 3.5 weeks.
You're in
We're going
chaos
to continue
already.
our committee work. We're going to continue our investigations. There's a lot of good investigations going that have to be able to proceed.
That's why people
and the
want
American
to
people deserve
send them
that.
to Congress,
but I'm not
right?
saying that it won't happen in 2 weeks or it won't happen in a month or who knows when.
Who knows?
But I am saying the clock has started.
that.
It's time for our conference to choose a new speaker.
Do
you believe, thanks, Congresswoman, do you believe that there are more Republicans who support this push? And ultimately, if this does get filed, it could lead to exactly what you're saying, more chaos, more paralysis.
It could
Does the House
lead.
Republican conference would have moved forward with that?
It's filed, but it's not voted on. It only gets voted on until I call it to the floor for a vote.
Wow, that woman has entirely too much attention on her, don't you think? She's such an underwhelming specimen. And it's so embarrassing for this country. It's like when do I have that actually, when she was talking to that English reporter and she cursed at her. Let me see, space lasers. She was asked about space lasers, and Marjorie Taylor Greene was like, why don't you go fuck yourself? Oh, what a scintillating comment. Because, that's what you do when you're a representative. You curse at people. Whatever. It's okay for me to do it on my podcast, but it's incredible what we have to deal with in this country. Well, we're with these underwhelming agents of chaos. And the other thing, so everything they touch, they turn into shit. Republicans, we know this as far as Trump is concerned. This is that book, whatever Trump touches dies. We might as well basically expand it to the entire Republican Party. Whatever they touch turns to shit. It turns to chaos. And they're not here to enlighten anybody. They're not here to make the trains run on time. You know how Republicans, we were playing what's his face? Traitor Tuckio Rose, when he was in Russia licking Putin's balls and talking about what a great train station they have. That was the whole excuse apparently for authoritarianism. It's they so-called, they say that they make the trains run on time, which is not even true, but that's supposed to be the trade-off. The trains run on time or your freedom. and Republicans are coming for your freedom, of course, for this false choice, because they're not going to even make the trains run on time. How could they? They want to deregulate the trains. They want everybody to just, live in their little, I guess, if you find a billionaire, then maybe he'll build a train for you or whatever. But, they're not there governing. And that's how you make the trains run on time. You have to govern. You have to do your job. There is something to be said about the bureaucracy. And it goes back to the Roman Republic. I mean, that's part of what makes a functioning society. And we should be very concerned, of course, about them talking about destroying the administrative state, because they are destroying the infrastructure of democracy. And and we got to be very careful. This is whatever. I wasn't planning on going there, but I wanted to play this. Where is it? They're all a bunch of liars, of course. For example, here's a montage from Fox News talking about crime.
Crime is out of control in many cities.
Crime is out of control.
Violent crime is out of control.
Crime is completely out of control.
Crime is out of control.
Crime is out of control.
The crime is out of control.
Crime is out of control.
Crime is out of control. We become a lawless society.
Crime is out of control. I'm afraid to go to the mall.
You're afraid? Of course you are, because you're a Republican. But the fact is, crime is at its lowest rate in decades. So reality has a liberal bias, and these people, it doesn't matter. They're doing all they can to get those who know how to govern, who want to govern, who believe in democracy, and they're doing everything that they can, including lying to everybody's faces, lying to their MAGA morons' faces, to get them to slit their own throats. And where is this? I had this MAGA moron. Oh, here's this lady. This is from TYT. Let's play this, because it's absolutely incredible. Hold on. I got to look at the time. How's everybody doing in the chat? I see you in there, Jonathan, asking a zillion questions. Let me see. What the hell? Typing a lot, Jonathan. What are Republicans doing? Tara, I hope you're not mad. You see a lot of the stuff I said in the chat. What did you say in the chat? Something bad about me? Hey, it's fine. You're allowed to type in the chat, but don't spam the goddamn chat. All right, here's, I'm not saying that that's what you're doing, but okay, so this is TYT, this guy, I don't remember his name. He goes, we've played clips from him before. He goes and interviews MAGA morons. He goes into their lairs and tries to see what the hell's going on in their minds. It's pretty stark and frightening, but here we go.
Your former governor running for president here as well.
Not my favorite.
She's talking about Nikki Haley.
How come? What did she do that you didn't like?
She's a crook.
She's a crook.
I mean, it'd take me a while to talk about all that, but she's not. What has she done for South Carolina? I just don't like her.
What have you done? Why don't she come and mow my lawn? That's what I can't stand with of course, the corporate media is going on about the polls, all the polls. Joe Biden, what has Joe Biden done for me? I just can't. Everything sucks. What is Joe Biden? He hasn't done anything for me. They keep saying how black people aren't going to vote for Joe Biden because what has he done for me? Well, what are you talking about? What is he supposed to do? Is he supposed to give you a lift to the supermarket? I mean, I don't understand. What do you think Trump's going to do for you? What are the Republicans doing for you? What have they ever done besides come for your Social Security and turn the country into chaos? Go after education, diversity, and inclusion. Any attempt to make a more perfect union, they go after it. And we should be very concerned, because when they look at Russia and say, "Oh, Russia's not our enemy," and they don't want to fund Ukraine, because they want Russia to just do whatever the hell it wants, just like Trump said he'll you don't pay, you could take over our democratic allies. It's disgusting. But they want to turn this country into Russia. Russia is an oligarchy with a strongman veneer, with a strongman at the top and the veneer of democracy. Like, they just went through the motions of electing Putin again with 80% of the vote, supposedly. So now he has a mandate to trample all over our European allies. But, the maggots they look to him because they agree with him. Putin has declared, of course, I'm sure you probably saw right before we went on air, there's a terrorist attack going on in Russia at this time. And apparently, I don't know, Hamas took, or the Islamic State? I don't even know. Somebody, whatever. It's not Ukraine, but one of the other terrorist organizations, according to Putin, are the LGBT, some kind of I don't even know what he calls them, but LGBT bloc revolution, the gays. Hold on a second. But that's what Republicans want to do here. As far as gay people, this is why they're going after trans people. This is why they're going after gay people and going after women, going after IVF, going after birth control. It's unbelievable. Going after a birth control that women have been taking safely for decades. And what's the point? Why are they doing that? They are doing it to control women. Why are they? I mean, for example, when Uncle Clarence Thomas said that when they overthrew Roe v. Wade and said, well, next, we should go after gay marriage, then, yeah, we should believe him. They want to divide this country. They want to drag it back to the Dark Ages. All right, well, let's and if you don't believe me, let's take it from this lady. And look at what she's wearing. I mean, what is with this cult? These fashion abortions. And come on. Nobody would dress like that if they had a normal mind. It reminds me of when I was a kid and I would go to rock concerts and whatnot. My favorite band, like buttons and shirts. But these are grown-ass people. This is a grown-ass woman on Socialist Security. But, of course, she complains it's not enough. Proving, again, what I always say. They love socialism. They just don't want you to have it. They don't want brown people. They have been bamboozled by the Republicons. That's the grift. That's the conspiracy. The Republicans tell them, they would have a great life. It's not the rich. It's not that the rich pay an effective tax rate on their capital gains of 8%. It's not the fact that the gap between rich and poor is wider than it was in ancient Rome. Even though we used to be the slightest, now we're the widest. It's not that. it's because brown people are coming in and they're taking everything, and you would have more if it wasn't for them. That's the grift that they're falling for. But don't take it from me. Take it from her.
It sounds like everybody's a crook except Donald Trump.
It is. That's how I feel.
But he's the only one really who's being indicted on it.
Well, I mean, they don't like him. He knows a lot of stuff that's going on in this country.
See?
You know, he
The
knows a lot of...
conspiracy.
And they can't win him over. He loves this country. He didn't even make a paycheck when he run for 4 years. He really does care about us.
Are you kidding me? He does care about us, except he figured out every which way from Sunday to suck on the federal treasury and take all sorts of bribes. Well, don't believe it, because that was the Democrats. Even though they had receipts, everything's made up. Everything's fake, except what the con man, the fake successful businessman says. The one who says, what did he say? He's 218 pounds? 6'2", 218 pounds. Except he was a couple of inches shorter the last time. You know, just sort of like the way his apartments grow or compress depending on his needs. And there you go. And as you see in the background, I never get it. I don't get it. How, I guess this is how unbelievably dumb they are, legally and peacefully. How can you look at the guy behind her, wearing a shirt, and they sell merchandise, with the con man's mugshot on it that says, "Never surrender." That's the meme for the mugshot. The con man literally surrendering is their totem for never surrender. Okay? I mean, I wash my hands, I rest my case. Thank you, Errol, on the chat. Tara Devlin for president. My hair's very staticky. I need water or something. It's like, I don't know why my hair is so staticky. It's getting in my... It's like flying around. It's flying around. It's incredible. Okay, let's go. Never surrender. When he's fucking surrendering. I'm sorry for cursing, but, you know.
I think the rest of the government and the presidents and all these people are all about money, money, money. He never was like that. What? He was a businessman anyway. Can
you believe these people? He was never about money? They're all about money, money, money. He is never like that. He's a businessman, except his theme is money, money, money. Right? Oh my God. He was not like that.
I just don't like her, you know.
It sounds like everybody's a crook except Donald Trump.
It is. That's how I feel.
But he's the only one really who's being indicted on it.
Well, I mean, they don't like him. He knows a lot of stuff that's going on in this country.
He knows
a lot of, and they can't win him over. He loves this country. He didn't even make a paycheck when he run for 4 years. He really does care about us.
He does.
I think the rest of the government and the presidents and all these people are all about money, money, money. He never was like that.
He was never like that. He's never been like that, all money, money, money. How come it's not playing? He's not like that. He's never been like that. I'll get hit with the copyright. Let's get to the end when the asshole is like walking in slow motion. Money, money, money. Oops. Oh, whatever. You get the point. He's never been like that. He's never been about money. Hello? Hello, lady. Are you there? Lady? It's incredible. The Dunning-Kruger effect meets cognitive dissonance.
Anyway, I liked him because of that. He wasn't in politics, you know.
Not about money.
I think he does care about us. I do.
He does.
What do you think about the GoFundMe that's being started to support his legal bills in New York?
Well, they're trying to take every penny he's got anyway. I mean, look what they're doing for his towers up in New Jersey. They're trying to break him, you know. So GoFundMe, if I had the money, I'd definitely give him some.
He's a billionaire, and you'd give him money?
But they're trying to take all that. Have you not seen what's going on? You know, they're trying to take all of his towers. They're trying to take all his
towers.
I mean, some woman from 40 years ago comes up and says she was raped.
So what? He raped some woman from 40 years ago. So what? It was 40 years. Jesus Christ. What is up with these people? Do they have any dignity? And actually, the fact that when I was watching this, of course, it's unfathomable. That's a hard word for me. But it's unfathomable how beyond bottomless their stupidity is. It's like you think it hits bottom, but then the trap door opens. And I was watching this and I thought to myself, this woman is the prime example why you don't let the minority rule. And what successful country lets minority morons who will have a minority point of view, who represent a minority of people, and have a minority, an agenda that is endorsed by the minority? What successful country lets people like that run the show? I mean, the people like her, she wants all the benefits of civilization, but she's so stupid because the Republicans have her twisted, telling her all these lies. Look at what's happening. He doesn't care about money, and everyone's after him. And what does it take for them to wake up? I don't think they're ever going to wake up. They are a lost cause, like the lost cause of the South. That's them. Let them, just leave them behind. You know, the fact is, I mean, I don't mean they won't be left behind, literally, because they'll come along. They will, I mean, as soon as we finally get universal health care, for example, they'll sign right up. They want all the benefits of civilization that liberals make possible. They just can't share. I don't know what it is with them. All right, hold on. Tara Dublin. My name is Devlin. Tara Dublin is a nice person, but that's not me.
Got millions of dollars from him, they say. That's ridiculous. And she's talking about going shopping. She's not even talking about supporting the people that really has got raped. Do something for them. You know, get some kind of counseling. You're talking about taking all your buddies going out shopping somewhere. I mean, that's the kind of stuff that bothers me, you know.
Does it really bother you? Why does that accent have such a bad reputation? That's the other thing. I know some people who live in the South. They have accents like that. They're not morons, but it's because of that. Not that my accent is the greatest, but I think I have more of a, I have a New York accent, but it's more, I guess people think New Yorkers are more like, hey, you know, good fellas or whatever. But she gives that accent a very bad reputation.
People are talking about freedom of religion. They're talking about how they're trying to infuse more Christianity into our politics. How do you feel about that as well?
Well, I am a Christian.
Do you believe in separation of church and state?
I I don't know for sure. I just know that I'm a Christian. I'll serve my Bible, my God,
You know, and
If
I shove
Donald
it down
Trump
your throat.
loses again, what would that mean for you, and what do you think that would mean to the country?
Honestly, I think if he loses again,
at least you said again.
I just think it's going to be a very bad thing. I do. I think the taxes are going to go up. I think the border might get worse. You know, and, the gas prices won't. I mean, when Trump was in House, we had cheap gas. We had our own people making gas, and Joe Biden closed that pipeline down the first day he signed it. All those thousands of people losing their jobs. I just think it's going to be
people losing.
Yeah, we are today drilling more oil, domestic oil, than we ever have in the history of the country.
I don't think so.
I don't think so. You know, that's how facts. They bounce right off their heads. I don't think so. That must be the fake news. I don't think so. Remember, on day one, everybody lost their jobs. Biden took the oath, and everyone just lost their jobs. And all of a sudden, everyone had nothing. It was all shit. Everything went to shit out here. People were burning things down. That's how they really believe. It was all Black Lives Matter came out. Trans people came out and started changing everybody's genders. And then black people came out saying Black Lives Matter. And all lives matter, of course, except if Black Lives Matter, we wouldn't, well, if all lives mattered, we wouldn't have to say Black Lives Mattered. But, you know, that's what Tara Devlin says, that dumb bitch on Tarabuster. But I don't listen to her. I just listen to whatever the wind is between my ears. And that is whispering all kinds of things like Trump is like the best. When he was in office, nothing went wrong. It wasn't like mass graves. It wasn't like there was 1 million dead. And when he told us to inject ourselves with bleach, who cares? Who doesn't need a little bleach now and then? I did that. I bleached up my tiles in my bathroom, and it looked real clean. So I don't know what they're talking about. And when Joe Biden took the oath, all of a sudden everything went to shit. Can you believe it? Even though, what? You mean we are drilling more? When he says drill, baby, drill, how much more you want to drill? These fuckers. It doesn't matter. You see, she's probably taking $35 insulin. She's on Socialist Security. She has her $35 insulin. She's on all kinds of other, government subsidies. But I don't know. I earned it. That's the thing. They all think they deserve it. I'm not saying whatever. Take it. I think it should be more, too. But come on, lady. Get a grip. Make America back. What did she say? Take America back. I'm looking at her shirt. Make America back again. Trump, take America back from all that success. Right? Take it back. We need a Trump who goes in, and when somebody says a hurricane's coming, and they say, oh, it's only going to hit over there. We need a man, a real man, to go in there and draw the line and say, no, you fuckers here too. You better run too. Even though it's the hurricane, you never know. Maybe the hurricane's going to go that way. We're lucky. Our president said, hey, bitches, get your shit and run. Even though the hurricane wasn't going to touch him. Who knows? Maybe these are the ones that were, injecting themselves with bleach.
Where are they drilling at?
Where they
throughout
drilling
the country,
at?
offshore,
Where are
Alaska,
they drilling at?
I mean, that's a fact. So.
Off your
I'm not
black
making
back
that.
No,
porch.
I know that, but what about our
What
own
about-
country though? We were doing it in our own country. We
were doing it
making
in
our own gas here.
Our
We didn't
own.
have to go.
Yeah, that's our own country. She's like, "Blah, blah, blah." It's not computing. Yeah, we're drilling. It's drill, baby, drill. More than we've ever damn done drilled. But.
To another country.
But,
you know what I'm saying? We had it here. So.
We had it here.
Well, we're drilling it here
We
now. Is
are
what I'm saying.
drilling it.
Wonderful. I'm glad to hear that.
I'm glad. She don't know what to do. She's like, all right. It's wonderful. Next.
Donald Trump in 2020 was very critical of the Black Lives Matter movement, and
I don't think so. I didn't see any of that. I think
No.
I never saw that,
black
heard
people.
that before, but you'll have to prove that one to me.
We've
'cause I
seen
never
all those
seen that.
AI
He actually did
pictures
so
of
much
him
for
with
the
black
black
people.
community.
no, I'm saying he
He's
was critical
done
of the
so
Black
much.
Lives Matter movement. That
I
movement.
was
He's
too.
turned
What kind of
everybody
crap was that?
against.
Well, he's inviting them. Now he wants their support, and he's saying
Why
that.
wouldn't he?
Why
Well, you
wouldn't
know what?
he?
Most
He's
of them
the
will come
best.
over because they
Most
got
of
lied
them.
to about the Black Lives support. They didn't get any money
my
that Joe
God.
Biden promised. All that was, none of that
What is he
went towards what
fucking
their cause. And they were out there.
All those people are getting nothing, and everybody, what is she even saying? It's like perjury, Traitor Greene.
The Black Lives support. They didn't get any money that Joe Biden promised. All that was, none of that
money.
went towards what their cause.
What
And they were out there
cause? What do you
burning
know?
down buildings, killing people, robbing people. Who
told
would want
you.
to support them then?
Who would want to support those blacks doing all that crime and burning things down and all that, which is bullshit, as we know. That's what the Republicans had to do to the Black Lives Matter movement, to their dupes on Fox News. If you watch Fox News and all the other right-wing filth, the propaganda channels, that's all you see. Black people, Black Lives Matter was nothing but burning things down. It was violent. Everybody was murdering, and it was crazy chaos, cities in dust. Like the famous Susie and the Banshees song. And why am I talking like that? But, and in fact, well, because they were afraid. The Black Lives Matter movement wasn't just, it was all the pigments were out there. And they were afraid that, that's the oldest trick in the book. You know, turn the public sentiment against the movement that you are very afraid of by, causing violence. And there have been, we know for a fact, some of the people who were arrested at the Black Lives Matter protests, for example, were from the Proud Boys. One of them, he was arrested for firing into a police station, saying justice for George Floyd, and shooting into a police station. Of course, then the umbrella man, guy going out there, he was outed, or I think he was arrested, that guy who was breaking windows. I mean, it's all, you want to look for conspiracies. There you go. Oh my God, what? Holy cannoli. That's the end of the Progressive Voices part of the show. Thank you guys for hanging out. Come on over to youtube.com/c4channel/Tarabuster to watch the end of the show. And check out APS Radio News. You know why? Because I'm on there. Thank you, Charlie. And check out the other independent voices over there. We will win. Become a patron at patreon.com/Tara Devlin. Hang out with us on Friday nights, 8:30-ish p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're on the right side of history. We're on the right side of decency, dignity, democracy, humanity. My name is Tara Devlin, not Dublin. See you soon. See you soon. That's okay.
Maybe they changed their attitude. Maybe that's why he invited them on. Maybe they got sense now.
They changed their attitude. All black people changed their attitude. They stopped breaking windows and burning things down. And they got some sense. I can't take it.
6 in that light.
I think when you are at the White House and you have police officers asking you to come in and showing you the way, they did. Come on in. Come right in here. And I think that man that shot that lady and killed her, he needs to be in jail right now. I think it's ridiculous to have our boys still in prison for what they believed in. It would have been a simple protest, but the people that worked there caused that. They were. I watched it. Come on in. Come on in. Jump over there. Jump over there. They never try to stop anybody. They encouraged it. All those cops there encouraged that whole thing. And there's people that murdered walking the street, and we got somebody that had their freedom of speech trying to go there, and they're still in jail. They're treating them horrible.
Well, some have been convicted on felonies.
Well, they took it. They took the plea where they could get out of there. A lot of them, because, I mean, can you imagine just being in prison all day for something you believed in when they got invited on the cops were like, come on in. And that guy that shot that girl, I hope he rots in hell, tell you the truth about it. And I'm a Christian.
Donald Trump, what is it that you like so much about him?
I liked it because I could buy gas for a couple of dollars because I use premium, and now I'm paying for.
You're paying a lot, and actually you're paying a little. You know how Trump likes to point to the pandemic for the fact that he sucks. And apparently to him, his presidency ended before the pandemic began. But he likes to use the gas prices from the pandemic when the entire earth was shut down. And so therefore, supply and demand. There was no supply side, right? There was no supply side gas prices. Because that doesn't exist. Only when you're a dumbass waiting to be trickled on. So, but Trump's like, I remember when, she's like, I remember when gas was like $1 something. It was actually $2 something, whatever. And I could have gas. Well, according to them, I guess the gas prices should be the same price that it was during the height of the pandemic. They live in fantasy land. I know. I'm playing a lot of annoying videos tonight, Jonathan. I'm sorry.
And I like it because I want him back president because of the safety of our country. Right. And I'm a true and I love our country. I mean, God bless America.
Bullshit.
This is all we have. This is what's happening, in my opinion.
I love our country. No, you don't. You don't love our country because you are bamboozled. You're easily led. And wearing a stupid red, white, and blue hat with a con man's name on it says you don't love this country. A con man who is a Putin puppet, a traitor, somebody who's been proven to be taking bribes from the Saudis and turned the presidency into his own personal slush fund. And the only reason he's running for the presidency again is to escape the consequences for his life of crime. So don't tell me you love this country when you're impervious to facts. It's absolutely incredible that crime, everything sucks. Yeah, the data as far as crime indicates that crime rates are actually at their lowest point in years. And even though, we feel like crime is on the rise. Well, here's those January 6th, those poor.
The safety of these officers at risk.
They were just like, come on in. Look at the cops saying, come on in, guys. Whoops.
Capitol Police have been ordered to withhold some of their stronger weapons.
How he hit that guy. The cop fell, and then he's like, ha ha. Look, here's the cops. Come on in. Come on
then
in,
the police
guys.
lose the line.
We lost the line. We lost the line. Oh.
That's a disgrace.
Police now begin to guard this doorway. An iconic centerpiece of...
Look at them. The cops are like, come on in. Come on. Oh, he's screaming, come on
when
in.
Police finally push them out. They face even worse violence.
Come on in, everybody. Here, here's a nice flagpole in your eye.
And robbed of their equipment.
Tasers.
They're beaten with a crutch.
Beaten up.
A hockey stick.
Nice. Come
And
on
even an
in.
American
Those
flag.
poor, peaceful tourists.
At least 4 officers are pulled into the crowd.
Oh, that cop was just telling him to come on in when he got
One
beaten
dragged
on
by
the
his own
head.
helmet, face down.
It's fucking shocking.
And again, the frenzy turns fatal.
Where we live there, where, truth is up for debate. Our own lying eyes. They believe the con man, but not their own lying eyes. Well, that's, he told them to don't believe what you see, right? Isn't that what he said? Just believe what I tell you. Don't believe your eyes, believe what I tell you. And now I guess he might be on some level correct because, they're out there showing him with black people using AI because, it's too much to actually get a real picture of him with people with darker pigment. Let me see. Trump AI. I found this hilarious. It's so obviously fake, too. Fake AI images. Let me see. Here we go. Look at that. Of course it's fake. When does Trump ever actually touch anybody? He doesn't touch anybody. That's so fake. He doesn't even touch his own children. They have he has pictures. We've seen the picture of him and his kids standing there with their stupid thumbs in the air. Him and Donald Trump Jr., right? With the fucking thumb up in the air. Standing a foot apart. Stiff. Because they can't touch each other. The father and son can't ever show affection towards each other because they could never show affection towards another male. It might get them all tingly or give people the wrong impression that they like dudes or something. Absolutely incredible. So obviously fake. But really, anybody show me a picture of Donald Trump with his arms around anybody. I'll give you a shout out. Of course it's fake because he looks like shit in real life. He's looking really bad. He's obviously eating his feelings and he's not in good shape. He's very stressed out. I'm very happy about that, really. But he's stressed out. He should be stressed out. He's up at like 2 a.m. screaming, what did he say? No, Trump Tower is mine at 2 a.m. When does he sleep? Where's Melania, by the way? Okay, here. World happiness. Once again, we've gone through this every year. The World Happiness Report comes out, and it's very depressing for the United States, as always, because we used to be in the top 20. Now we're We're not in the top 20 at all. We've fallen well down on the list. So the United States is not among the top 20 happiest countries in the world, according to the 2024 World Happiness Report. This decline is particularly notable due to the decrease in happiness across all age groups. Well, what do you expect with Republicans? Really, I'm not kidding. I know people are like, oh, it's Democrats too. Well, you know what? Democrats aren't trying to destroy this country. They're not trying deliberately to divide people. They're not attacking particular minority groups. I know that Republicans, like that woman, they're all Christians, right? They think that letting, live and let live, they think that is an attack on them. They think that if we live and let live, like if we live and let live, let a trans person be a trans person, that is somehow an attack on them. If two human beings of the same pee-pee, two adults of the same pee-pee, form a legal marriage contract, that, according to Republicans, that's an attack on them. Just the existence of anything that offends them is somehow an infringement on them. When the other thing is, it's because they don't want to get canceled for saying disgusting things, and that's why they feel like they're being picked on. So if they can't be anti-gay, if they can't misgender somebody, if they can't attack trans people, if they can't say racist things, and if there's a reaction, I mean, they could do it. They could say whatever the hell they want. But if there's a reaction to it, then they feel like they're being picked on. Because one of the things you would never do, being a Republican means never saying you're sorry. And that's the only freedom that they care about, is the freedom to never, ever evolve. Never, ever learn. Never, ever take any new information in. Never think about anybody else but yourself. That's the truth. That to them is an affront. Then they're under attack. Here in reality, you don't like somebody. I don't care. You know what? I don't particularly like that somewhere in Arkansas, there are a bunch of people who are, I don't know, having 19 kids and counting. That's not my cup of tea. I think that's kind of dumb and selfish and many other things, but okay, you don't see liberals, Democrats, normal people going in there and passing laws against how many children they can have, right? Or doing whatever they do, whatever you would do to inflict your bullshit on people. Like, for example, when women had, full bodily autonomy, they would have, you would go, somebody wanted to get an abortion for a plethora of reasons, none of my fucking business, and you would go and, Republicans, there would be regulation, there would be a law that you would have to have an unnecessary internal ultrasound. You would have to be raped, basically, by instrumentation. You don't need it. There's no medical necessity for it, but you had to be raped by instrumentation, courtesy of Republicans. And, that's who they are. But we don't do things like that to them. To these so-called conservatives, we just say, hey, okay, you want to have 19 kids and counting? You want a side hug? You don't want to kiss until or you don't want to hold hands until you're married? Oh, no, you hold hands when you're engaged, And then you kiss when you're married. Okay. Live and let live. You don't see us normal people, even though that's fucking stupid. We don't go in there and say, I'm sorry, you can't, I don't know, whatever, have 19 kids. Right? I mean, it's just, we don't put regulation. Like every kid you have, you pay another $100,000 in tax, or that's what they would do. You know, you'd use the mechanisms of government to, deter. Every kid you have to be raped. Or let's say the father, you want to be like Jim Bob Duggar. Every kid you father, you have to have an anal ultrasound up your ass. I know I repeat myself. An anal up your ass. In case you were wondering where that anal ultrasound went. Right? It's a vagina, not a clown car, Twisted Nerves painting says. You wouldn't know. Right? Or what about, really, any of this? Or like your stupid kid. When your kid is caught molesting your daughters, you can't send him to some whack job Christian so-called rehab that he has to get actual help. Oh, well, that's big government. That's too much. Well, now I'm talking about Josh Duggar, who's in jail right now because he's spreading child porn or whatever he was doing. Disgusting. In fact, the FBI agents that caught him said he had some of the worst child porn they had ever seen. I mean, horrible. The descriptions of it is enough to make you want to throw up your goddamn week of lunches. It's vile, these people. But of course, when you're the reason why that's it's who am I hurting? By watching, child sexual assault material, because you're re-victimizing them. I mean, who fucking gets off on that? You're sick. Anyway, but that's what you get. But we all had to sit through him telling gay people and everybody else how they're going to hell, right? Oh, well, apparently, while I'm on the subject of Josh Duggar, he still hasn't taken responsibility, apparently. He says he was railroaded, because that's the new Republican way. You realize that, like we were saying, being a Republican means never saying you're sorry. It also means, well, it's like everything. It's bizarro world. It's opposite day. A Republican party of personal responsibility, they never take responsibility. It's everybody else's responsibility. They only stick to that motto when they're telling you how you have to, like, go on GoFundMe for medical care. Beg for medical care. But that's the, oh yeah, and speaking of, and who was, I think Jonathan on the chat mentioned that what's her name? The princess or something? Has cancer. Kate Middleton has cancer. I mean, I feel bad for her. But one thing I thought when I was watching her statement, I thought, well, she doesn't have to go on GoFundMe for medical care. That's one good thing about being in England. Oh, and then she thanked her team of doctors. Not that she would have to. I mean, I know she's a goddamn princess, but nobody in England has to go on GoFundMe for medical care. If you get cancer, you get the treatment you need. And she was saying how she was thanking her medical team, and I thought, oh, in a socialism? A socialist medical team were helping her. Why didn't she fly here to the United States of Serfs and Lords? I thought that everybody was flying here for medical care because it was such a shit show everywhere else. Yeah, that's one thing. You know, when you get sick in other countries, you can go to the doctor. That's why this country, you're not happy. You know why also? They're saying that it's young people are the most unhappy. You know why? Because not just because they have grown up in this world where they've had to put up with, you know, pandemics and live shooter drills and Republicans doing absolutely fuck all for them, doing nothing, you know, stepping over the bodies of kids made dead by their policies. It's because they grew up in a small world. You don't need a passport to go and know other people in other countries now. For example, I told you guys I play some games. I've always played games when I was growing up and all. I'm on a little team. Okay, don't make fun. I play this Game of Thrones game. I'm on a little team. It's not a little team, but it's like 100 and something people on it. And they're from all over the world. And every week we have a little meeting. Who's doing what? I move my troops. I do this. I do, you know, whatever. It's a fucking little pastime, right? But there are people from all over the world in this community. I don't know them. All I know is their names, but their handles. They don't know me. But the point is, that's how kids have grown up. They play Xbox. They play whatever, you know, whatever games they play, but they're connecting with people from all over the world. And some of the people on my team are from Norway. Some are from England. They're from all over the world. But none of them, you know, have to beg for medical care. They don't have to worry about that. They don't have to. And that's young people who are growing up in this world on the internet and whatnot. They know what bullshit it is when Republicans talk about how we got the best health care in the world. They know that's bullshit. They know that they have friends that are in college, let's say, that are going for free. Decent colleges that they don't have to become, they're not indentured servants to banks. So they see the difference. And I also believe it's because of growing up in the live shooter drill generation too. I didn't have to do that when I was growing up. I mean, we had fucking duck and covers. I was in the last duck and cover generation. I remember that. I was like in kindergarten. We had to go into the hall and put our hands over our heads because that was going to save us from the nuclear holocaust. But anyway, yeah, so that's why we're not happy. And it really is a disgrace. Why can't I talk? It's a disgrace. You want to know what's his? You know why? I mean, who could listen to the whining of Trump another day? That's another reason we're not happy. Every single day, people are getting up. They got to worry that Republicans are going to shut down the government. They got to worry. Oh, I missed 2 paychecks. I got to go on a food bank line. And this fucking Trump is whining about how unfair everything is to him. To him. Right? It's depressing. But one good thing is that that's why this generation is the most progressive generation coming up. Because they're not they're not falling for the bullshit. They know that democratic socialism, that you have to regulate capitalism, or capitalism will treat you like a host from which to suck profit and discard. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's democratic socialism, to have a country that works for more than just the 1%. You know, taxing the rich is not an assault on freedom. It's paying the fair share for the price that for you. That's the admission price to civilization. And it also protects democracy from oligarchy. And that's one thing that's out of control with these billionaires who shouldn't even exist. Billionaires should not exist. It's true. It's true. All right, what time is it? Where is my article here? Oh, God. Everything sucks. No wonder, right? I get it. That's why people are upset. I'm upset. I'm sick of it. You know how long I've been talking about universal health care? That's part of the problem. Because the other thing is there's the cruelty of the time we live in. That's Republicans too. You know, everything is like, ha ha. We saw in the clip I just played of the traitors who stormed the Capitol. One of the cops falls and ha ha. One of the little fuckers points at him like that little character from The Simpsons. Ha ha. Like a fucking 2-year-old. You know, that's the kind of country we live in, where Republicans, they got nothing. You know, so they come at you. Oh, you're ha, you know, fat pig or whatever. You know, that's their dear leader. Mocking Joe Biden's stutter, things like that. How are you supposed to be happy in a country like that where they're so-called, we got millions of people. I'll make it nice. Millions of people. I don't say so-called people. They're actual people. But that's who they vote for. They want to vote for that. Somebody who calls people horse face, fat pig, and then mocks somebody's stutter? What the fuck is wrong with them? And if a child did that, of course they would be punished. But, you know, different rules for the party of personal responsibility. Right? I'm trying to find that clip, actually, but I don't have it. It's so shocking. Just when I think I can't be shocked anymore by the depravity of the Republican Party. And they're Christian, right? They're Christian. Now, what about you're a mother, you're a father, you're somebody who has a child. You are that child who stutters.
Angry, dark, hate-filled rant.
Oh yeah, such hate-filled.
Wasn't it? Didn't it bring us together? Remember, he said, "I'm going to bring the country together. I'm going to bring it together."
Fucking scumbag.
No. He said, "I'm going to bring the country together. I'm going to bring it."
And you know what's worse is the scumbags laughing at it. And they're all Christians too, people. They're all Christian. They're good Christians. I'm gonna bring the together. I mean, even that. You should be ashamed of yourself if you vote for that, that's who your leader is. You talk about Marjorie Taylor Greene, all the worst people standing up, screaming at the president during this. I mean, they've been doing this. This has been going on. Remember, it was during Obama. You lie. They've always been dragging us down lower and lower and lower. And every time I think they can't get worse, then they surprise me. I thought it was George W. Bush. There's a moron for you, right? And then you had Dick Cheney, this horrible, not even half. I mean, a human. Is he a human? I mean, I know he had somebody else's heart in his body. He had a mechanical heart. And horrible, torture, just denigrating this country, making us a torturing country, sending us to people to die for a lie, right? Just always disgracing us further and further and further. And then you get somebody, we think about John McCain, right? And then he picks Sarah Palin as a running mate. And it gets worse, and it gets worse. Then you get these, people who would have been, Democrats would never do that. And I think of these other Republicans who, what's the guy's name who was he convicted of rape or something? No, not rape. He was caught with prostitutes, right? He was cheating on his wife with a bunch of prostitutes, which used to be something that would send them, packing. They had but then he returned to the Senate, and they returned to a standing ovation. That's who they are, because they're not in it for altruism. They're not in it for democracy. They've never been in it for democracy. They've always been in it for power, for money and power and rigging the game. And the idiots who vote for them are in it for the permission to be ugly, the permission to be stupid, the permission to be racist. As long as they could kick down on somebody else, they're all in for their own demise. So happy schmappy, right? What will Republicans say? Oh, happiness is overrated. Get to work, snowflake. Fuck your feelings. That's what we'll hear from them, because they don't have a clue. They don't have anything to offer. They want us all to be as hollow and dead inside as they are. They want us to expect nothing. This is why they go after government all the time. Government sucks. Government's the problem. We're the government. We are. We, the people. Right? We're supposed to be. But the way they denigrate the government, they want us to make sure, to separate ourselves from government. Oh, they're all crooks. They suck. Everything sucks. Don't expect anything. That's what they're telling their dumbasses. Don't expect anything from government. Government sucks. Government lies. Look, government steals. It steals your vote. Hand it over to me. That's what they're saying. And I will make everybody pay. I'll make the liberals pay. All those liberals who wanted you to be decent to your fellow Americans. All those liberals who wanted you to, shut your filthy mouth, if anything else. If you didn't understand why somebody was trans, that's not your business. Oh, but, right? Or gay people, or black people. Forget your, we're in this together. The Republican mantra is you're on your own, bub. Unless you're one of us. Because that's why they're in that cult, you know, the rugged individuals. They all look alike. They all dress alike. They can never, ever go against their dear leader. Because, you know, what else do they have but that community? Because government is the problem. They just keep us divided. Divide and conquer. There's your conspiracy, Republicans. It's the oldest one in the book. All right, guys. Thank you for hanging out. As always, my name is Tara Devlin. We will win. Thank you, Charlie from APS Radio News, for your support. Thank you, patrons, for your support. Patreon.com/Tara Devlin. Thank you, Jeffrey. Thank you, Jim, for your super chats. We will win. Hopefully we'll have a show this week. I'll see you soon. Yeah, where is the producer? Hi, Tara. You're being summoned. There he is. I know. He's going to the doctor. I gotta take him to the doctor. He's got, very bad hairballs. He's coughing a lot of hairballs. And I want to make sure. I'm assuming it's hairballs. Because I've seen the hairballs, but he's been coughing a lot. But I want to make sure. He's my baby. All right. Here's the producer. Say something. Say something to your fans. Come on. There you go. They want to hear you purr. He's a good purrer. All right, my friends. Listen, let me see. What's my schedule this week? What's today? 22. Beep, beep, ba, da, ba. I will try with all my might to have a show this week. It's been too long, man. We'll try to have one Wednesday, okay? All right, my friends. Can you hear my little baby purr? Yeah, he's a good boy. All right. Let's get together. I'm going to try. Fingers crossed. Is that how you say? Or fingers crossed means it's fake, right? Or something. All right. Scout's honor. Something. I'm going to try to do a show. It's been too long. It's been 2 weeks, actually, since we had a weekday show. So, we can't do it. We can't keep that. We got to get back on the groove here. Back in the groove. So, today's Friday. Wednesday. All right, my friend. Yes, you mean the purring, Twisted Nerves painting? Put it on a loop for an hour and post it as a sleep aid. I should do that. He's good. He's a good purrer. And I love him. All right, my friends. I love you too. We will win. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you, Jeffrey. Jeffrey. That's from Jeffrey Dahmer. Jeffrey! I hate you. No, I mean, Jeffrey, I love you. What was I playing? Where is it? Oh, yeah.
And strike and strike and strike and
That's
strike
for you,
and
Jeffrey.
Strike and strike and strike and strike until you have victory. For every osa tata rite eke banda ata rike didi ashata. For angels have even dispatched from Africa
Angels
right now.
dispatched.
Africa right now. Africa right now, from Africa right now. They're coming here. They're coming.
They're coming.
In the name of Jesus, from South America. They're coming here. They're coming here. They're coming here. They're coming here. From Africa.
Africa, Africa, Africa.
Angelic reinforcement.
See, we're not racist. We said Africa, Africa. Aka, 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 aka.
I hear the sound of victory. I hear the sound of victory. I hear the sound of victory.
Why is that guy walking in his bathrobe behind her?
I hear the sound of victory.
What is that lady down there doing?
I hear the sound of victory.
I hear the sound of kaka kaka victory. Victory. All right, guys, thank you. Thank you, Matt, for your super chat right under the wire. Wow. I know, right? Twisted Nerves Painting says, wow, she is just batshit. But that's the spiritual advisor to the so-called president, don't you know? Now, what kind of a country do you expect us to be with that kind of shit rising to the top? All right, my friends, we can all rest on that. We can mull that over in our nightmares, as I will. Oh, there goes Ray. Where's Buddha? Oh, Boudica is so cute. Can I show you what? Stop it. No, you get down. You're getting... Look at Boudica. She's in the little... That's her little bed in the shelf. She's in the shelf. She's so cute. Hi, Booty. Hi, Booty. All right. Yes, lots to ponder. All right, guys. I gotta go. I gotta get the show ready for Progressive Voices, and I gotta go to bed. Look at Booty. Ow! Fucker. He just tried to jump up, and I have to cut his nails. Oh, man. He got me. But not on purpose. I mean, he was just trying to jump up. He needs his nails cut. All right, my friend. My friends. I will see you. I'll see you hopefully on Wednesday. Hopefully, I'm saying, because I'm giving myself an out. But I'm trying. I know, my album collection. Yeah, there it is. There it is. I'm getting the apartment's getting painted in the summer. I already put the down payment. So, ow, I'm bleeding. So all those CDs are going. I mean, it's like getting ridiculous. And whatever. We'll work around it, and we'll see how it goes. All right, guys. I love you. And I will see you hopefully on Wednesday night. Oh, look at that. Why is that so small? Beep, beep, beep. We'll do that. Okay. See you later.